This is one of the rarest OBS Fords ever made, and I found it on Facebook Marketplace 400 miles away, sitting in a barn. A 1997 F250 crew cab short bed 7.3 diesel with a 5-speed manual. Try saying that one 3 times fast. And if you missed the first video on this 97 F250, it's had quite an interesting life, but for the last 5 years, it's been sitting, neglected. Luckily, it at least does run. Come on, you're embarrassing me. It runs, but does it drive? Not really. After all, it did spend the last few years before it sat being a farmhand. We're gonna clean it all up to get a baseline on what we're working with, then see if it'll fit in the garage to start the teardown. Now we sort of get a rough understanding on what condition this truck is in just from looking on the outside, but we don't know fully how good or how bad this thing is until we get it inside, put it up in the air, and check under it further. So I don't know if I'm excited or a little nervous. Before we can really dig into it, I want to give it a full wash down. I'll fire up the pressure washer to eject decades of muck off. Definitely going to be one of the most satisfying cleans. A detailer's wet dream, per se. This thing's been sitting on a farm for years and years and looks mossier than a forgotten garden gnome. And probably the first wash this poor truck has had in a long, long time. Not sure if I'm cleaning it or just uncovering more problems. If you're a fan of this truck and want to see it come back to life, now is the perfect time to subscribe. I'm trying to reach my goal of 100,000 subscribers before my birthday in August, and 90% of my viewers aren't subscribers yet. So hit that subscribe button. It's free, and all the support goes into saving this OBS. And slowly but surely, the truck starts to brighten up, which is surprising, considering it spent the last 2 decades trying to blend in with a pile of hay and dirt. You know, I'm not even sure why I bothered washing that bed. Honestly, it cleaned up better than I expected. Still rough, but at least now it looks like a truck and not a barnacle. Unfortunately, the wash didn't make it look any less crooked, though. But now the big question, will it even fit in the garage? A long bed? No chance it's getting in. But a short bed? Just might. Miraculously, hallelujah, it fits. Oh, that is a thing of beauty. Oh, yes. Which means we can start on the inside. It needs it. I'm very curious what kind of shape this thing is in under here. For now, to get a better assessment of what's going on in here, I'll empty out everything. I think that's a bullet. The toothpaste, ketchup, that looks really old. Tissues, ooh, I'll save those. I think this should be somewhere up there. This is important. Factory radio. Pull all the crusty, mucky floor mats out. Then give the vacuum to see what sort of shape the carpet's in. I need to analyze what's broken and what's just dirty in here. There's enough hay nestled in the carpet of this thing, I'll be able to build a shelter for when my folks eventually kick me out for buying more projects like this. And enough hair to make new dogs, too. Now it's time for the moment of truth. This steering wheel. Let's see how it is. Oh boy. How does one... Oh, that's gonna break. Oh well. Not saving it anyway. How the heck? Come on, you're stupid. Here it comes. It's actually not bad. That's not bad at all. Just very dirty from where this thing was on there. It's a freaking win. Let's go. The whole inside's in better shape than I thought. I just don't want to go overkill with the cleanup in here just yet, since this truck's going to get way dirtier and look a lot worse as we start to do all the work to it. Now we have an idea of cosmetically what we're dealing with. I want to know how the front end suspension and steering is, seeing as though it's the biggest crutch on my 7.3 Super Duty. And just as soon as I got the first side up, I noticed our first issue. Oh, I think it's supposed to turn smoother than that. I noticed this thing didn't like to move very easily from a stop. This might have something to do with it. That's a lot of effort to spin that. I'm sure I'll find our culprit for that once the wheel's off. But before it comes off, I'm gonna check the ball joints, which is done by putting a big bar underneath the tire and lifting up and down. If the tire flexes, that's one thing. But if the whole wheel and tire are moving around, there's a pretty good shot you have ball joints in your future. This one's good. A ball joint's basically the ankle of your suspension. It connects the control arms to the steering knuckle, letting the wheel move up and down with the suspension, while also pivoting left and right when you steer. And while the tires are in the air, I'll do the wiggle test. This checks to see how the wheel bearings are doing. And if it wiggles a lot, the wheel bearing's probably shot. That should go on a t-shirt. Driver's side checks out okay, shockingly. So I'll check on the passenger side. And I think this one passes the wiggle as well. We're looking way better than I expected so far, besides the fact that the tires hardly spin. Now I'm putting both tires on the ground and having someone wiggle the steering wheel back and forth to see if anything's got any excessive play, like the tie rods or the pitman arm. Okay, you can stop for 1 sec. And again. The tie rods are supposed to move like that, I think. All right, you can stop. Next, I'll pull off the tires completely to see how everything's doing behind here. Oh, I'm surprised that came off that easy. There's semi-important stuff, like the brakes and brake hoses. There's no point in fixing this thing all up for it to go flying into a Kia Soul at a moderate pace with no brakes. Okay, well, it's a little crusty back here. This rotor is pretty well shot. Plenty of meat on the pads in there, but the rotor's rusted. That's not going to clean up, and hopefully that's what's keeping this this thing from turning easily. I can't even turn it right now. Nice to know the frame has had its natural undercoating from the 7.3 leaking so much oil that it basically just rust-proofed this entire section. Off comes the passenger tire. All right, looks like the same ordeal on this side. Brake rotor's pretty well screwed. Plenty of meat on the pads, but this side won't move very easily either. Brake hose in good shape. I'll throw some shocks in this thing probably. And again, we're gonna do something really cool to this frame that I'm excited to show you guys. All right, let's get the back in the air and see how that's doing. And how it's doing was poorly. None of these tires move very good. That is a big drum brake. Holy cow. Wow. Thing is beefy. Well, based on the condition that all these brakes are in, and the fact that none of the four wheels spin very freely, I think it's safe to say that this thing needs brakes front and rear. Unfortunately, the rear, I forgot, are these massive drum brakes, so those are going to be interesting to tackle. Then again, I really can't complain because I would much rather do brakes than ball joints or a pitman arm or really anything with the front steering. Now, I was going to begin our to-do list on this truck, but unfortunately, I'm not sure our whiteboard is big enough. No, really, I don't think it's big enough. Well, I'm gonna try anyways. So I scribbled down everything I thought this truck was gonna need off the top of my head. Thought about it for a sec, thought of more. Okay, this is basically everything that I could think of right off the cusp. Front and rear brakes, exhaust, refinish the wheels, new tires, descale the paint, descale the frame and paint it. New shocks, replace the bed or fix the bed, fix the rust on the passenger side rear door, new hood springs, new hood latch, fix the dent in the cab, need a new tailgate, gotta figure out the front seat if that's factory or not, replace the oil cooler, fix the little rust above the windshield, replace the front bumper, replace the front grille, install the front drive shaft and new U-joints. And just like I figured, I thought of more. Sorry about my terrible writing. And paint. Now, I'm sure there's gonna be at least another 10, well, I already thought of 2 more things that I have to add to it, but I'm sure there's gonna be at least another 30 to 40 items added to this list, if not more, by the time this project is well underway. And I am so freaking excited. And sure enough, I added another item. We're gonna need a bigger whiteboard. Days later now, as I'm editing this, I realized I forgot probably one of the biggest pieces of this truck build, which is, of course, what's making it sit so crooked. That cab mount rear crossmember thing. That needs to be replaced. So we'll add it to the list. Yep, that's not English. What am I writing? All right, that is going to be a wrap for today's video. I like where we're at. We have a solid to-do list. We know what we have to do, where we're going. I'm excited. I'm not excited for what I'm going to start on tomorrow with this truck, though. That's going to be a little messy. But anyways, if you're not yet subscribed, I'm trying to hit 100,000 subscribers, and we have just under a month left. So if you guys enjoy builds like this, hit that subscribe button. It's free, it doesn't cost a cent, and it's gonna help save trucks like this and cars. Anyways, thank you all for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Happy motoring.